This podcast is brought to you by all of the wonderful anime addicts out there. And if you want to support the podcast, you can go over to aapodcast.com/join. You'll be helping to support Mitsuki's deep craving of Dairy Queen. I really want Dairy Queen today so much. It'd be so good. Hey, and if you don't want to go to that website thing, you can go to Patreon. Some of you love Patreon. You can go over to patreon.com. Support us over there. You're going to get our hentai episodes. You're going to get our hobby addicts. You're going to get the after parties. You're going to hear us talk about video games. You're going to hear us talk about the naughty. It's going to be great. And you'll be supporting the podcast doing a good thing. You got to support your podcast, people. And now, it's time to start the show.
Get ready! You're about to listen to the Anime Addicts Anonymous Podcast. Make your anime addiction worse at aapodcast.com. And now, here are your anime addicts.
Oh, welcome into the podcast. Episode 593 of the Anime Addicts Anonymous podcast. Oh my goodness. Our sole mission is to make your anime addiction worse, and we're joined by a gradually increasing audience on Twitch. I love you all. You're very beautiful. And wherever you're listening from home, thank you for making us a part of your day on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, on Google Play, wherever you're listening from. Thank you for tuning in on this wonderful Sunday. Oh, and I am Mitsuki, and I'm joined here by the crew. We have the other anime addicts. We have Caroline. She is spicy today. How are you, Caroline?
Not that spicy.
Oh, come on.
Pretty mild.
A little turmeric. Come on.
Well, maybe just a little. How's it going?
Pretty good. We also have Mason. Mason's in a muscle shirt. He's looking JoJo-esque. Marble statues. How are you,
I don't
Mason?
know if I'd call it a muscle shirt, but thank you. It's my Haruko Haruhara, my Fooly Cooly tank top. Because it is a little toastier than I was hoping in this mid-September Connecticut weather. But I am doing well. Glad to talk all things anime again, as we do every week. Every day of my life is anime.
Eternally, yes.
Of course, I am Mitsugi, and I am joined here by a pink Monster energy drink. It's very delicious, very cold. I'm drinking it out of a mason jar full of ice from my ice maker downstairs. And I was promised a Butterfinger Dairy Queen Blizzard at some point during this podcast today, because promises have been made and broken these last few days regarding Dairy Queen, and it's becoming a very sore subject. Do you guys also enjoy Dairy Queen? And if so, what flavors of candy do you get in your Blizzard?
I may have gotten Dairy Queen once in my life.
Oh,
what?
But no more than that. I don't have a Dairy Queen by my house.
This is
okay.
Preposterous.
That's kind of a good
It's on the other side of town, and I don't even eat fast food all that often.
It's called...
It's not fast food. It's ice cream to go.
It's called DoorDash.
Do I really want to pay
What's your address?
20% more of my
What's your
food?
address? What is your address?
And maybe I should not say.
Don't say it. I will look up the distance.
Look up the link. Send me your
door
address, and I will
and
DoorDash you Dairy Queen right now. It will arrive during the
Are
show.
you serious?
I am dead fucking serious.
I mean, if you really want to do
I am
that,
dead
who am I
serious.
to say no?
I'm dead serious.
If you want to pay for DoorDash to just send me one Blizzard.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I love this emergent podcasting.
I probably have had a Blizzard the last time I went to Dairy Queen, but again, that was so long ago, I can't even tell you.
Caroline, no excuses.
Just do it!
Just give me the address. You can do it on Discord. We'll make this happen for the love of ice cream. Mason, you never answered the question.
I was letting Caroline take the stage. Yeah, Dairy Queen is amazing. It's pretty good. I have a small grudge against it.
That was a quick downgrade.
because they introduced the best Blizzard of all time that was a like a promotional gimmick with the new Jurassic World movies. It was like Dino Crunch. I'm trying to remember what the name of the Blizzard was, but it was like extra peanut buttery, and it was amazing, and it was the best flavor they ever came out with. And it was so good that after the promotion ended, they made it a mainstay on the menu for like half a year, and then they took it off, and it's never been seen since, and I've never been to Dairy Queen since. So, bring back peanut butter based Blizzards.
Oh my gosh.
And I will return to worship at the altar of DQ.
Mm-hmm. Where they have to hold all the cups upside down for some reason.
They do, yeah.
All right, guys, we are on Twitch live every Sunday at 5 p.m. Eastern. Twitch.tv/AAA podcast. If you want to hang out, you want to watch us live, you want to see my beautiful bald head, you want to see the muscle shirts, you want to see the spiciness in action, you just got to come over there. And of course, it's Facebook. We're also on Twitter. You know, make Caroline happy. She hangs out. She does all the work. You know, if you don't go on Facebook and Twitter, Caroline's like, I do all this work for nothing. And then she gets sad. And then she cries into her Blizzard. And then it's salty. And it's not good anymore. Okay? And then, of course, there's the Discord where we got our anime clubs. We got our manga clubs. We got watch parties. We got it all going on over there on the Discord. And today, what do we have going on today? We're going to be doing reverse Shark Tank, where some people have submitted ideas and have made us come up with the ideas for new anime. So we're going to be doing a little bit of that, and we'll probably savage each other with how terrible our ideas are. Mine are rather naughty.
Oh, dear.
And
should we put a content warning on this?
Probably should. And we're also going to review
no.
Zombieland Saga Revenge, which was a lot of fun. So we'll talk about that much later in the show. But first, we have the big news of the week. Anybody else have anything else they want to say while I order ice cream?
Jurassic Smash Blizzard. Peanut butter cookies smashed together with chocolate chip cookie dough. Adventure in every bite, it says. That's what I want. Dairy Queen, please. Revive it like you did the Jurassic period.
Are you going to send Mason a Blizzard too? Is the question.
No, I don't deserve it. I've had it enough times where my reaction means nothing. No one wants to see Mason with a Blizzard. That's just not on brand. But Caroline experiencing the second Blizzard of her life, that's content even I would pay for.
Listen, the classic Blizzard is Oreo. Do you want Oreo?
I do enjoy Oreo, but is there something else?
It's usually it's Heath Bar, Butterfinger, M&M, Animal Cracker, Snickers.
I'd say go with Oreo. That's a safe bet.
All right, and away we go.
It's time for big news of the week.
Oh my god, subverting expectations.
It's time for hot new anime releases.
It's segmentception. We have so many new hot anime this week. We must do.
It's a sub-segment.
Ooh, hot new anime releases. Caroline, why don't you take this first one? Because I never watched this, and I don't know why they're making season 2, because apparently season 1 sucked.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it definitely had its audience. I was not that audience, even though I figured at first I would really like it. It's The Way of the House Husband season 2, and it's scheduled to premiere on Netflix on October 7th. So I only just heard about this recently, but yeah, it's that close, only less than a month away. So it looks like Chiaki Kon and Susumu Yamakawa are returning as the director and the series composer. So you can I would probably guess this is going to be very similar to the first season, but is it going to have animation is the question.
I know.
I have no idea.
It was like barely animated.
If it doesn't, I doubt I'd want it to watch it. Even with proper animation, I don't really know if the jokes were interesting to me.
I feel like the lack of animation was a design aesthetic, a choice that they made in the first season. So I would doubt that they go back on it now unless they were so swayed by the internet to change their mind.
All right, what else we got here? We got Shadow's House season 2. Caroline's like doing a little dance in her chair.
Dance, we think that.
Yeah.
The fists and everything.
Because, I mean, there was some issues with the first season, but regardless, I'm interested to watch the second season.
I mean, I think it was pretty obvious that they were going to have a second season. I mean, how could they not, the way that they left it? So,
I don't know. There are some series that wanted to have a second season and they built themselves up for it but never got it.
The question is, will Mason be excited to watch season 2 of Shadow's House?
I mean, I think I said I would be cautiously optimistic in the review, so I probably won't watch it unless people are saying, oh, this season really is connecting with what I was hoping the first season did. So it's definitely going to go on my plan to watch, and we'll see if I actually ever get around to it.
All right, what else we got here? Mason, have you seen this next one? Because I have not seen this, and
I thought you did watch an episode or two.
I don't think so.
I think the show is highly ecchi, and thus I did not watch a single episode of Season 1 nor Season 2 of Welcome to Demon School Iruma-kun, which has been announced for Season 3 following the final episode of the second season. So, first season came out 2019, second one came out this year in 2021. I don't think they've announced when the third season is coming out, but at this point, I think you already know if this show is for you or not. So, I see ecchi, and I shield my Gentile eyes away. They cannot bear such proclivities.
Yeah, this is that show about the 14-year-old Suzuki who, I guess he gets adopted to the demon Sullivan, and then the demon Sullivan wants him as a grandchild for pampering. Doesn't sound very ecchi, but I'll take your word for it.
That sounds weird.
I mean, maybe I'm just saw the name and I'm associating it with a different show that I'm thinking is lewd. I don't know. I've never seen it. I'm looking it up now. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about, which is very likely.
Okay. And the last one here, I'll take this one. It's Fairy Tail 100 Years Quest. I honestly thought they were done with Fairy Tail. They had the final season of Fairy Tail. It was literally called that, I think. And they've had 3 seasons of Fairy Tail in 2013, 2014, and 2018. 2 movies in 2012 and 2017. In other words, you scarcely had a year go by in that 6 or 7 year stretch without a Fairy Tail something. There's 9 OVAs. Now there's another season coming out. So 100 Year Quest, a mission so challenging and hazardous that it has remained unaccomplished for over a century. Countless mages have attempted to take on this grueling objective. However, they have all ended in defeat or worse. But Natsu and his friends are going to embark on the quest and take it on. So I don't know. I know people. I have friends that love Fairy Tail. So it's super popular. I'm not sure that you really had to think too hard why they're making more of this. It's going to have a big audience. Bottom line, I just thought it was done. So I'm kind of surprised that it came back so fast. But that new thing, Eden Zero, was fucking terrible. So I don't know why. I don't even know why they went why they went there, but Fairy Tail 100 Years Quest coming out.
I think I was thinking of How Not to Summon a Demon Lord. That might have been the show I was thinking of. I think I saw
ecchi.
Demon and that's probably what I was thinking of. My bad. Welcome to Demon School. Regardless, I have not seen because the art did not appeal to me.
All right. Caroline, you have big news as well. What would you like to discuss?
Well, I saw this thing about the anime creators base at the Tokyo office of Netflix. So they created this whole new area specifically for anime. It has a designers area for designers and artists, a writers area for developing and editing scripts, and a lab space for VR and motion capture technology testing. So it seems pretty cool. There's this whole tour video they have on YouTube. That was a little bit strange though because it was hosted by their VTuber Enko. So yeah, she I didn't really think that she was very animated very well, and her voice was weird. But even so, you can watch that video to see what exactly this space is all about. And apparently it was inspired by Keep Your Hands Off Eizouken, and the ideas in that show, intrigued by the idea of making a space where creative minds could gather, is what the Netflix chief producer of anime, Taiki Sakurai, stated. He also said it reminded him of the creative processes that should be always driven by passion and having fun. So it's a pretty cool area, and I bet it's very appealing to people who would want to work in anime in Japan.
Are they expecting to... What?
I didn't get
What
the
is the
feel for,
point?
like, what the point of all this was. It seemed like they were just like, hey, look at our cool office. We're promoting anime. But, like, nothing's actually going to get made there.
I feel like that's pretty much the space where they're going to be making anime, yeah. I didn't really find anything else interesting, so I just threw it in there.
It looked like a place where they get content creators to come there and promote it and cross-promote and do little things like this, but not actually make, full shows. But once again, I'm not too sure what their end game is, and I guess I'd love to see stuff come out of a nice work environment like this.
Yeah, I mean, again, this is all based on information that Netflix is giving us, so who knows if it's actually being put to use.
Okay. Well, I don't know. I mean, I'm a fan of Netflix making anime. One, because it's a big platform and it's good for anime in general to have more eyeballs on it. Two, because the Netflix app is probably the best streaming app that's out there. The HBO app is fucking horrendous. And to be honest, like even the Funimation app's not that good.
It's certainly not.
The Netflix app is awesome, and the multiple languages, and it's just I know there was an article about Netflix not paying people properly, which was shocking to me because considering how much money they have. But it is what it is. I'm still happy that they're still taking an interest in anime in general. So
the only gripe I have with the Netflix application is that a lot of times their anime shows will only have English subtitles with closed captions as opposed to normal English subtitles, which is not a huge deal, but it does add a lot of unnecessary subtitles for like sound effects, which is kind of distracting. And it's not the end of the world, but it's my little gripe, so I'm sticking to it.
All right. Well, that's about it for big news of the week. I'm excited for all these new anime that are coming out, and it's nice to keep things fresh, I guess I will say. And now we're gonna do a Shark Tank topic. Should I play the drop then for Shark Tank?
I feel like I want to.
Sure.
It's me in the mood.
Right.
Yeah.
We have it made already. Let's just throw it in there.
Wow, now you're deaf. Whoa!
Who are the sharks? They're self-made business experts worth billions. Mitsugi is a self-proclaimed holy man and a world-renowned enemy of moe girls. Raised billions for his church through the Kick the Filth into the Pit of Anime Hell Foundation to lead the fight against moe. Mason, retail empire king and all-around food fanatic, started a grassroots movement and raised $500 million through his new retail food-themed line of skin creams called Pleasures of the Flesh. Caroline, a once humble social media giant turned queen of all media when she founded Otome Radio and built a net worth of $5 billion, blanketing the world in Otome radio waves. These are the sharks, and this is Anime Shark Tank.
Whoa!
Did
All right,
you make
Caroline.
the backing vocals for this? I
Oh
think
yeah,
you did.
it was 100% me.
Okay, so Anime Shark Tank is something that we have pretty regularly on this show, where we take submissions from the listeners and we judge how well they can put together a very interesting anime concept as well as ways to make money off of it. Well, we decided that maybe we should try our hand in writing some anime, so we asked the listeners in our Discord to write just some parameters for us to build our scripts off of, our plots off of. So this could be, genre, storytelling details, character types, etc. It really, whatever you guys wanted to know or wanted us to write in our plots is what we gave you. Although we had to kind of narrow that list down because a lot of them were submitted, and we can really only do like 3 for this topic. So, and also I combined 2 of them because they were pretty vague and they kind of followed the same lines. So I just put 2 of them together. So yes, we each wrote an anime for 3 of the listener submitted parameters. So who would like to go first?
Well, I am on the document first, and by the way, the ETA is 5:50. So there you go, right there.
Oh my god, I cannot believe that you actually...
away. Put it on the clock, folks. Get excited.
Goodness. I cannot how much money was that?
That's okay. It's coming out of your paycheck. You don't know.
It doesn't matter because the creamy dairy goodness and Oreos crash together in a holy marriage of deliciousness, such that your taste buds have never experienced before, is indeed priceless. My first topic.
Here's the question: Oreo Flurry or Oreo Blizzard? Which one's
I don't know.
better?
What the hell's a flurry?
Considering
From
flurries
McDonald's.
don't exist because they have to come out of machines that make them, and those machines do not work.
Oh, the McFlurry. It's definitely the Blizzard's definitely better. All right.
Okay, well, let's get to this. And actually, I'll read out the requirements of our listeners. So
Please
here
do.
we got, would we say like that's Anderlap or Ander One App? I don't know, but that's their Discord name at the moment. Who wanted us to write an anime show with a cast of characters, like a battle shonen or a harem rom-com, for example, but it doesn't have to be either of those. But the twist is there can only be one voice actor doing all the voices in the show, and they have to have enough range that it doesn't feel like the same person voicing every part. Plus, no cheating with they all don't talk gimmick or something like that. So, interesting submission, but figure that it might be good to write about.
All right, cool. So I will do the first one here, and hey, I think that the two of you, we will have to judge each other here very harshly.
Mm-hmm.
A couple of mine are naughty. This one's isn't really naughty though. This one actually was an idea that Pancake came up with. So this is her idea, because I was like, I can't come up with anything. Help. That's what I do when I'm feeling lazy. So the title is Book Club, and it's by Studio Mappa, because Mappa is just carrying the anime industry on its back right now, pretty much, seems like. The synopsis: a different voice actor for each episode. So the rules didn't say it had to be the same voice actor. It is one voice actor per episode doing all the voices, so they will be different. Characters attend a weekly book club where the telling of the tale of the book, where they're telling the tale of the book for that week, and it transports all of the club members and also the audience to the world of the story, where the voice actor voices everything. It could be a children's show, because you could do like children's stories too. And the money-making idea is that children's shows make big money in Japan and are routinely in the top 10, or really make up most of the top 10 as far as viewership goes in Japan every week. It's Detective Conan, Sazae-san, Doraemon, Anpanman, Curious George, like all these kids shows are always the most viewed shows in Japan. You could also sell books branded with the TV series name in stores in Japan, and at like Kinokuniya or wherever the hell the bookstores are. I can't remember what they're all called, but yeah,
that's right.
So basically, you could have a whole line of books at Kinokuniya. Every week, you go to that story world, and it's all voiced by the same person. So you could even have like special guest, like famous person doing a voice for this week if it got like really big. What do you guys think?
Well, the direction said it has to be one voice actor doing all of the voices in the show.
It will be.
Not all the voices in one episode.
Oh my god. Such a stickler.
You can take creativity.
Not a stickler. That's what the rules say.
What do you want me to do? What if you get tired of the voice for that week? You're like, I don't want to hear this guy anymore.
Well, it has
ideally,
to
you
be
pick the actor engaging enough to carry the show in a manner that lends itself to the concept of why is the voice the same for every character.
Speaking of actors and stuff, did you guys see all the memes that are happening from the Blues Clues guy who did the 25th?
Oh, I have. That's amazing.
Oh my god, that guy hasn't.
He's speaking to my soul here.
He hasn't aged very much. He looks the exact same. It's crazy.
Well, he's bald now.
That bald is beautiful. Come on, get with the times.
It's true.
All right. Well, so you guys don't like my idea. That's fine if you don't like it. It's really Pancake's
I mean,
idea.
it's a decent idea. It's just it doesn't follow the rules.
Oh my god.
Man,
Okay.
sticklers. I mean, to be fair, we are sticklers when you guys write in stuff, so it's only fair that we are sticklers to ourselves. So I guess I will go next, and I'm gonna say right off the bat, I'm not very proud of this one.
But Mason, you gotta wait a second because I earned this.
It's a big mistake with me on this one.
There you go. Okay.
Oh,
So
also, I did not really pay attention to like studio names, and I did not make any ideas for money making. I just
That's
wrote
the whole point of
plots.
Shark Tank.
Oh, I know, but like I just wanted to have fun writing some stuff.
No,
Oh, you didn't-
no
oh,
fun.
you
This is
didn't-
not a no fun show.
You didn't put a name in?
I wrote names for the shows, yeah,
my
but I didn't
God.
really do like money making stuff.
Oh my god, that's gonna be an issue.
It's gonna
Oh
cost you
boy,
literally.
it's gonna cost you, Miss Stickler.
come on, I never-
coming in here
When
hot.
I came up with the idea of this topic, I never mentioned anything about having to do anything more than just
It's
writing plots.
literally called reverse Shark Tank. That's
But-
the whole.
In name, yes, but in
But-
concept, it's a little bit different.
But
Oh
Caroline,
my
did you
goodness.
write this description of the topic on the outline?
No,
think that was what you did.
I put the one at top.
Oh, okay, because it specifically says and why it will make money right there in the text.
Okay, because I did not write that.
Okay. All right.
Whatever. Let's
Okay.
just move on.
17 minutes and counting to crunchy goodness. Okay.
The clock, the pendulum
That
swings
shit's
ever
not gonna
closer to
That shit
Flavor
won't-
Town.
It's not going to show up on time.
No, it's gonna be heckin' melted beyond belief. She's just gonna drink it like a soup and be like, "Well, what is this?" And we'll be like, "It was delicious 20 minutes ago. You have to believe me." Anyway,
Yeah. Go. Please
uh,
go.
the name of my show is called No Laughing Matter. It'll be 10 episodes long by Studio Pierrot. And essentially, the plot is that aging comedian Beat Takeshi is asked to lend his voice to an upcoming isekai anime. And I don't know if you guys know anything about Beat Takeshi. He's a famous like Japanese comedian. He's not a big fan of the industry, so he like vehemently declines. He's like, I don't do anime. That's nonsense. And he's leaving the building in a huff, where he's encountered by a overzealous Yakuza fan who's a fan of his works, and then getting too rough with him, kind of delivers a blow to his head, and we kind of enter Beat Takeshi's mind, where we get an anime version of Takeshi's Castle, which, as people in the US might know it as MXC, Most Extreme Elimination Challenge, that he was the host of. And here, in his mind, we are going to get an anime version of MXC, where all the competitors are different versions of him through his life. And it's almost like a biopic, where their struggles through the obstacle courses is like the story of Beat Takeshi's real life and struggles and successes, and it's going to be very meta and very funny. And if you've seen that MXC, you know this is a great idea, and it will make money because he's already a big, successful person. And obviously, we're going to go cheap on the studio budget to pull him in, and of course, you have real world like performances on the radio, and he's beloved throughout all of Japan, so it's going to appeal to all demographics. And essentially what will happen is that will accumulate interest in his other like films and TV shows, so we get licensing agreements with all of those to just get in all those extra ventures he has and monopolize those more than the show itself. So bit of a stretch if you don't know who this guy is, but I think it would be very funny to watch him try to do different voices when he is not known for that in the slightest.
That does sound interesting, but like, is he actually like absolutely does not like the anime industry?
I mean,
in
he's
real
mentioned
life?
he's not a big fan of the anime industry. Like, he portrayed, I think, the chief in the new like Ghost in the Shell like standalone complex movie, and he's like, I'm not a fan of the anime, but like it's kind of important to portray this role correctly. So he's noted disdain for it. So to have him involved with an anime that is going to be like very funny and like educational, like I just enjoy stuff like The Wind Rises or Millennium Actress, or like shows about someone's life told through anime. So to have it so metatextually linked to the show that I grew up with as being like a comedy show that was in itself dubbed over to be nothing like the original would be amazing, because then we could have the English dub also be from one guy and also mess up every single line for the sake of comedy. a bit much, but
it's
there
a
we go.
lot, yeah, but it sounds interesting.
I have never seen this TV show, but I am.
Never watched MXC on Spike TV?
I also have not seen it.
I mean,
Mitz, this is the show more than anything else that you would love. It's literally a classic Japanese game show where these contestants try to do these dumb little challenges, and they like pelt them with balls or throw stuff at them and make them fail.
Yeah, I love
and
it.
they brought it over to Spike and they dubbed it over to be like the most raunchy, inappropriate thing
my
ever.
God,
That has
really?
nothing to do with what the show was. And they just call everyone like Baba Ganoush and laugh at them and tell very off-color jokes that are very funny and not appropriate, and just like completely butcher everything it stood for. And it's amazing. I'll find like a supercut and send it to you.
I ate shawarma last night. It was really good.
It is good.
What? What?
see-
What does that have to do with anything?
He said Baba Ganoush.
Ganoush.
Yeah, I had chicken shawarma
God.
last night. It
They
was
like make up
fucking
these
good.
backstories for these competitors and then watch them eat crap and like do like instant mega slow rewind replays as their face like crumples into like a wall or something. Like there's a whole game where there's like 4 doors and you have to run full speed and only one of them is like open on the other side. The rest are like brick walls.
Yeah.
So you see people just
Aw.
like smack into stuff and sometimes they get through, but there's multiple stages of it. Oh my goodness, this show's amazing.
That
Anyway,
sounds horrifying.
Oh yeah, I love this idea,
bunch of fun.
especially if I get to see like moe anime girls falling into like giant mud pits and stuff. That would be great. Can they be
There we
eaten
go.
by alligators or something? That would be great.
we can make that happen. We can get around all regulations that real people would normally not have to deal with.
I'm fucking down. I think people would love this shit. Ooh
Thanks.
man, ooh, it could be. You could have like people like get selected out of like high school, and they're like, oh my god, and then they get to watch their classmates participate. I don't know. This could be fun. I like it. I like this idea. I like it a lot.
Thanks, mate.
Okay, my goodness, Caroline, you have a
All
very. Did you like the idea, Caroline?
Oh yeah, it seemed interesting. Yeah, I mean, there's just a lot going on, so I'm like just trying to keep up with it. But if it's like a very popular Japanese comedian, then it probably would be a very well liked show at least in Japan.
All right.
So let's get into mine. Again, I
Yes,
don't
let's
have
hear
any
it.
money making ideas coming out
Well,
of this, so
that's
this
gonna-
is
that's
all
gonna cost you.
story. Okay. The title is The Floating Forest. I'm not very good with titles, so that's the best I got. It's 13 episodes. In the year 2060, the starship Athenas is transporting a team of scientists to Dolos, a distant planet with lush greenery and plant life. They embarked with the goal of analyzing the soil on Dolos, theorizing it may be the key to revitalizing planet Earth. After gaining samples from the green planet, Athena starts the 1-year journey home. Everyone's in good spirits, but in the mind of Captain Mei Tanaka, something is off. The voices of her crew and research team are different. They aren't exactly identical, but they are pretty darn similar. Maybe it's just traveling, or the long time of traveling with the same people getting to her. But why does it feel like her voice is changing as well? Floating Forest follows the captain as she tries to find out if these are delusions of cabin fever or something more dangerous. As everyone on the starship begins to sink... Oh, I forgot to... I don't know why this is all blocked off. Sorry, let me just get that. As everyone on the ship begins to synchronize and share the same thoughts, when will they realize that Dolos was a single organism, is now expanding its hive mind reach to all who breathe in the spores emitted from its soil?
Spores.
Yes.
Man.
I definitely
And
like
that's the story.
the setup to like make the reason that they all have the same voice exist. I definitely like the setup, and I like, the sci-fi like going a little bit crazy out there and the great unknown.
Yeah.
What movie is it? Moon. That I'm thinking of. That's such a good movie. That definitely strikes me as something like this. Watch that movie, people.
I love sci-fi stuff. So,
I definitely like
So,
the
yeah.
setup. So not bad.
I'm watching a clip.
Money
from...
making.
Oh yeah, yes.
Maybe.
Yes, go on.
Maybe the production team could sell plants.
Sell plants?
Yeah.
Plants.
Yeah, plants.
Oh. Man.
Yeah.
Crickets.
I don't
Wow,
know.
I don't know if that's gonna work.
I don't have money making ideas. I just have story ideas, and that's it.
No one's an anime for the story. Oh, Smoke if you writes Lily Cat in the chat. I think Mitz and I watched that. That's kind of
Lily
similar.
Cat, yes. Oh fuck yeah, that was some weird shit.
Yeah, that was good.
I'm watching two guys on Takeshi's Castle sumo wrestling in a mud pit, and the guy's wearing blue like spandex pants. Fantastic. You know what? I just don't know, Caroline. I'm just not feeling it because you didn't like my idea because I didn't do it right.
I pointed out a very basic flaw with the idea. I'm sorry if I did not write the requirements.
What do you think?
I think she's calling you basic.
What do you think, Mason?
I did not say anything like. What are you putting words in my mouth?
I think my show really requires like already being invested in Beat Takeshi, and like succeeding in Japan would not be like a worldwide endeavor in the same way that Caroline's Floating Forest is. So I could see it going either way.
All right. Well, I don't think we're just not feeling it, Caroline.
You're really intriguing because you get these shafts of white light and pure thinking in between a wafer of nut bar factor 6.
There you go.
I try. I've put in so much effort into that story.
Oh my!
Ooh,
really?
got him. You better.
So
Yeah.
sorry.
Good.
Because there's a reason why I called it Planet Dolos, because that is the god of disguise. And like they see this lush planet and it's actually what willing to kill them.
Well, listen, I understand that you put a lot of work into it, but you didn't follow the rules, and so that's.
I'm the one who came up with this idea. I created the rules.
She's so indignant about it. All right. Well, I'll have you know that you'll feel better at what is now WoW. See, there is no such thing as decent customer service in the United States. So now the estimated arrival time is now 6:20. It is going to be up. It is not going
Because
to.
nobody wants to deliver a single blizzard across town.
Well, they're doing it, and I'm watching their car travel right now. Actually, it looks like it's pretty close to you. Wait a second. This app must be messed up. I think it could be arriving within like the next 5 minutes.
Oh my goodness, the suspense.
Oh my god. They're just going to leave it at the door, by the way. So, all right. Why don't you read? Oh yeah. Why don't you read this next one?
He's
It's
gonna
COVID.
steal my blizzard before
It's
I
COVID. You can't see another human. So
I guess.
Caroline, why don't you read the next synopsis, and then I will read the raunchiness. Is my
Oh
next
boy.
idea.
All right. So this one is a combination of two of our submissions from Avarius, who wanted a romance, high school, and sports that Mitsuki doesn't think are real sports anime. And also Shadowcat, who wanted a slice of life school club anime about high schoolers starting an esports club/team. So not only are these sports that Mitsuki doesn't think are real sports, but specifically esports, which he doesn't think is a real sport.
Which I also didn't put into my synopsis. So because
What?
yeah, well,
These are not suggestions. These are requirements.
Oh my goodness. I went
it's
with
too
an
late now.
esports slice of life romance high school club show.
All right.
So
prepare to be offended.
I'm trying over here. Go for
All right.
it.
So this is called, in honor of our hentai episode that we will do later today, for which we have no defined topic as of yet. The title is called Player, and it's from Studio Passion, which did Ishizoku Reviewers. So they're very well suited for this. Perfect. 18-year-old Honda-kun is an ordinary, I'm not going to do that voice, an ordinary high school kid with extraordinary good looks. And probably a nice package too, though it's hinted but is not disclosed actually in the anime. One day he gets scouted to be on the nation of Japan's hottest and newest television sports reality TV show, Player. The draw. Honda must compete against other handsome high school men from around Tokyo as a quote hookup artist to see who can score the most quote unquote points by getting women who carry specific characteristics as defined by the show's producers to have a drink with him at his home. The field, the city of Nagoya, which is blacked out from this television's run of the show, as each season has a different city, but the contestants are always from Tokyo. Money making, you'll have uncensored Blu-ray releases. Let's just say the TV show ends with the drink or around that time, or whatever, but the uncensored episodes will be a full 5 minutes longer. extensive figure line of lewd figures so shoppers can score, quote, points, too. Let the fun begin.
Reminder, everyone, to submit your hentai mailbags on our website at a podcast.
That's right.
Well, you should have just used this to carry over to your hentai episode. Then you can write all the hentai you can want.
Well, maybe I will. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Also, send your fanfics. We will read them.
Oh, we will.
Because
yeah.
that's
and we'll do
very
voices
fun.
as well. So, yeah.
Indeed.
So, there you go. There's my idea. What do you think?
I think it would be successful. Isn't there a show like World's End Harem coming out like next season that seems vaguely similar? Not quite the same way. There's not like a point system, but I think we're going to get the same vibes out of that one. So intriguing, I will say. I will say this could be fun. It would be a massive success. There's no doubt about it.
I want you to know, Caroline, that this guy, whose name is Jarly, has been sitting on P. Kelly Way for like 4 minutes not moving. I think he's eating the blizzard just like in the road. He's like parked and he's just devouring this thing. You're going to get,
Well,
get an empty cup.
At least I didn't pay for it.
All right. Well, how do you like my idea though, Caroline? Do you think that player...
It's an interesting idea.
Oh, wow.
I mean, the thing is that, it's just the whole I want to get points by hooking up with people kind of thing is very distasteful to me, but the general idea is interesting.
Well, it
I'm
is
so amazed.
It is an
this guy
etchy show.
named Charlie. It's
Yeah.
like the great Charlie won't be defeated.
Yeah, he's just devouring this ice cream right now. It would not be. He's like, I'm gonna sit here and park this car just long enough so that this bitch is melted. Oh,
Got
boy.
the max heater on it to melt it down.
All right. Well, I want to hear what Caroline came up with as.
Oh, do you want to do Mason next?
Oh yeah, we
or-
should do Mason first.
No. Now I feel neglected. No, let's go with
for
Caroline.
God's
We'll
sake.
change the order because mine's a winner. Mine,
Okay.
I actually
Oh
genuinely
my
like my
goodness.
idea. So
Okay.
I want to stun you guys.
Okay, you want to finish strong. Okay.
All
I
right.
do.
So the title of this one is That Time My Esports Club Got Too Popular and Now My Crush is on a Warpath. It's a 12 episode series with a possibility of season 2. Okay. So again, I'm not very good with titles, and literally the first anime I came up with, that was my best idea. So here we got this guy, Mimura Hiroto. He managed to spur enough interest in his an esports club amongst his classmates last year that he actually got a proper club together. No schools to club startup drama here, just to let you know. But here's the problem. The club is too popular. Mimura wants to accommodate all of the students for the fun of gaming, but there just isn't enough equipment for an actual team. Enter Matsuda Kana, Mimura's crush ever since they met at an internet cafe when they were kids. She joined the club under the impression that this was going to be a serious team, not one that tries to accommodate just for fun. After the club forms factions, Mimura and Matsuda make a compromise. Matsuda will take a third of the equipment and Mimura will take the rest. Matsuda will lead the competition team, and Mimura will lead the club that he always wanted. With this plan, can they prove that they are worth a larger budget? And can Mimura form a relationship with Matsuda while she is on a warpath to conquer all of the esports teams in the prefecture? That's the idea. I don't know anything about esports, so this was the best I could come up with.
It's definitely not sports. I'll tell you that. I'll tell you that right now.
Perfect. You
Oh,
followed
boy.
the
Yeah,
prompt.
so we got it. This was the perfect compromise or combination of ideas.
Any sport where you can actually eat an Oreo Blizzard while you're playing like Street Fighter and then periodically like spill ice cream all over yourself is not a sport. Oh goodness. I like the idea though. I can tell that you put a lot of
Yeah.
effort into the concepts. I'm very
I
passionate
definitely
about this.
did not want to make a club show and have it be about an unpopular club that needs support.
2 more
But I
members.
thought
Well, it
having
is.
a club
They
too
need
popular
to
would
get
be funny.
support.
Well, yeah, but like they have the club formed. It's not going anywhere. But if they want to make it as they would like it to be, with the as many people having fun as possible, then that is what they need. But the actual club itself has no issue with being there because it is that popular.
Well, they do have an issue. They don't have enough budget.
Well, they are going to. It's not the issue that we are tired of, and that is not like having to actually form a club and keep it running.
I don't dislike the idea.
So what's Mimura going to do to fund this club if he has this just group of people showing up? What's he going to do to raise money? I guess that's why I got to watch the show.
Esports team, if the esports team that Matsuda has built up and is conquering other teams for, like if it gains notoriety and like, wow, this might be actually like worth putting in budget for. I guess with esport competitions, you do win money from that, I suppose.
Yeah, but it seems like she's made a faction and they would want all the money for their team and they wouldn't give it to the other team.
Well, the idea is that they all they're on the same side, but it's the direction that they are looking for. Like, do we put our focus into having a proper team, or do we have this be an actual club, just for the fun of it? It's two sides of the same coin, but they are basically in the direction of having this be available for, their student body. So the idea that I had would be like, oh, the team could make the money if they are good enough, and the more fun side of the team would just be gaining the interest, and if they are good enough, eventually becoming part of the competition team.
Okay.
That was the general idea, but again, this is something that will never come into fruition, so it doesn't really matter the details.
I can't be cruel to Caroline twice in a row, so I'm gonna go with this one.
More like you can't think of a reason to dislike this idea.
Well, let's hear what Mason had, what his idea was, because he was so proud of his. That...
I was a little proud of mine, yeah. I would watch my show. I don't know about yours, but got him. My show is called Data Ace. It's 13 episodes, multiple seasons, and it's going to be by Brainspace and Studio Orange. And the plot is that we follow this country girl who's kind of nerdy, who's nicknamed Data by all her friends and all the other kids in school. And she's always been a huge fan of video games, but because she grew up in the boonies where, the internet kind of sucks and she has all these like younger brothers that distract her, she kind of had to learn how to play these games like League of Legends and stuff with like a bunch of lag and internet and just distractions that get in her way. And she's kind of sick. She hates the boonies, and she's like, oh, this internet's messing up my game. So she moves to Osaka for the better internet. So she joins she kind of tries to revive the school's like once revered, esports team that has now kind of gone defunct. But because she spent all her time training with like lagging internet and like bad connections, like when she starts playing, she's amazing because she no longer has those, impediments in the way. And she's so good, and everyone's like, oh man, like we got this girl gamer, I want to join because she's cute. And they all join with the intent of like romancing her, and then they realize, oh no, she's actually like one of the best esports players in the country. And they learn that, no, I just want to be her teammate at this point. And she like gathers a coalition of just teammates that go from maybe wooing over her in like a harem type thing into genuinely just like respecting her as one of the best competitors, and then they go around and whoop the crap out of other teams, and it's a ton of fun.
Well, I'll say, as someone who grew up in West Virginia getting just murked in like MMOs because the internet was so terrible that like it didn't do much for my esports skills, I'll say that much.
Well, because you didn't persevere through all that pain and lag, and then move to a place with Google Fiber and just smoke the competition.
Well, I'm also old, so I don't think.
True.
I think we were pretty far away from Google Fiber when I was playing MMOs. Oh my god! But
and it's gonna make money like every other esports tie-in, where gotcha games all day. Just
what color hair will Data have?
I mean, it'll be normal black hair. It won't be two-toned, if that's what you're asking. And my concept in my mind was that like she has all these younger brothers that like annoy her and get in the way. So then when she joins this high school team, all the guys that join in, she just kind of sees them as annoying younger brothers and like doesn't think of them romantically, even though they're all like vying for her in like a weird like comedic harem type of way, and she has like zero interest, and that would be very funny.
Will a suitor come along?
You know, there might be a player from a rival team that
Oh my God,
sparks her interest in a competitive manner.
I am blushing.
So, you know, not quite as lewd as yours, but
Well,
that's my ham-fisted attempt at working in the romance that was requested.
I'd probably watch
Yeah,
that.
I also
I'd watch
had a
it.
difficulty trying to figure out how to put romance in this one as well.
I'd watch it.
Well, thank you. That's all we're going for here.
All right.
And hence
What if his main character was a moe girl?
Ooh, that'd be tough. Also, because explaining jokes always makes them funnier, that's why the name of the show is called Data Ace, because it's like database, but Data Ace because she's the ace of the team.
Dear.
So many levels, aka 1.
Oh,
All right.
and by making the title of this of my last show, I now realize why so many like light novels and anime have such long titles. It's because I could not think of anything else creative, and now it's just a joke to have a
I
very
like the
long title
title of
that
yours.
literally tells you all about
It
what the
really
show's
sells
about.
me on it.
Oh, cool.
But before we get to this last idea, I just want to say that I ate some crow the other day about Remain, that water polo anime, because they actually played water polo in episode 4. It was a scrimmage game against like a bunch of little kids from another school. I think the show is quite good, and I am current up to episode 8. But I would like to reinstate my claim that this show will not indeed play any water polo because I'm pretty sure they are not going to play any water polo beyond what happened in episode 4. It's just
So what
not.
do they call
it's just
that?
not
It's
really.
surprising that you actually like it though, considering there is barely any water polo.
It's just there's a very unexpected plot twist in episode 7, 8ish that I didn't see coming, and it's turned the show on its head. But it just cemented that the show's not really about water polo at all. It's just kind of like a background for it. But let's do this last one. Caroline, would you like to read the description?
Oh. Yeah, so this is from Emu Warrior, a sequel to an anime you hate that turns into something you would actually watch. That is
perfect.
the bare minimum of what you had to do.
Yeah, this is great because I really hate Tonikaku Kawaii. I think it's absolutely just garbage. And so, because of that, I get to do one about Tonikaku Kawaii. That's the title. Tonikaku Kawaii, end of honeymoon. That is the synopsis, done by the same studio, 7 arcs. The synopsis: times are tough, and things are not what they appeared to be for Nasa and Tsukasa. When love gets stale and married life becomes a platform for deceit and betrayal, can a hastily formed Yuzaki marriage survive? That's the whole synopsis. Some things that might happen. NASA, you're just going to have to decide what you want to have in here. NASA was already married from the start. Tsukasa cheats on NASA and gives him an STD.
Oh my god.
NASA is hiding crushing quantities of financial debt.
Ooh, I like that one.
Whoa. Could this be the kind of show that has like, choose your own path, and then you can like, I don't know, like a Netflix thing where you can like click on what decision you want them to make in the show and like have it spiral off.
You could have a vote every week.
That sounds fun.
So I don't know, money making. I really don't know. Probably wouldn't make much money. But I actually feel like that the anime would be compelling when an anime with like real life serious decisions has real life serious consequences. So, because like getting married is a serious thing, and it's not all like little sister crushes and all this stupid shit that the original series had. So there's sometimes things get crazy in life, and so that drama would probably elevate that show, in my opinion. And so, and Twitch says, NASA, we have a problem. I should have put that in the synopsis.
Oh my god. No, it would have been Tonikaku Kawaii, NASA, we have a problem.
I should have just named it that. That's even better.
Yeah.
Boy, I really didn't like that anime much, but I'm not going to drone on and on about it. What do you guys think?
I still
Oh,
just
that's
want.
fun. I mean,
I just want choose your own adventure stuff. Do you guys ever read like Goosebumps where you had to flip to different pages?
Oh yeah.
That was the best
No, I
thing
haven't done
ever.
that.
Oh my goodness, you'd get to the bottom of a page and
I
there would be
never
like
read
an intense
Goosebumps.
item, and it would say like, oh, does she like escape out the back door or does she grab the rake and fight? And like depending on which one you wanted, you would turn to that page, but you'd always keep one finger back where that selection was in case you accidentally killed the character and you'd go back and make the other decision. I wanted that all the time. I wanted to go to movie theaters where you are watching a movie with hundreds of other people, and midway through the movie stops and is like, "What decision do you make?" And then you would physically leave your seats, and all these people would go to two different like screens in the same theater, and then resume watching with the decision they made. I wanted that so much as a kid. I thought it'd be sick. This has nothing to do with Mitsugi's idea, but I like the choose your own adventure concept. Yeah, this be probably better than the main show. So I guess in that regard, I would say, yeah, I approve.
Well, I think that like
I did not see the first
Oh, God bless
season
you.
of this, but I do generally know what it's about, and by the synopsis, I think would be very like I'm not sure if like the whole very serious problems would be like tongue in cheek with how immature the show actually is, or if it's actually going to take it into a serious route. Either way, I think it'd be interesting.
I think if you want choose your own adventure stuff, you need to play like visual novels. Really, I mean, they're basically like anime sort of, and you know, I've definitely played visual novels where like you make the wrong choice and your character gets killed and you get like a game over. So, all right, who wants to go? We got two more of these.
I'll be really quick. We didn't review it on the podcast, but Cestus was a show that had some potential. That was that like Roman boxing show that looked janky beyond belief.
I watched about half of this. Yeah.
It was not good. It was not good. And, I had to pick a show that, like, I disliked, but had enough potential to, like, maybe revive it. So, essentially, it's just done by Production IG this time because they do really good historical type stuff. Be 11 episodes. And essentially, it's 10 years after the original Cestus. Essentially, long story short, is he starts working in construction of this massive structure called the amphitheater, and he works there as a slave, and he's mining away, and he gets to go visit his family in Campania. I forget where Vesuvius takes place, but all of a sudden, oh boom, there's a volcano. Oh no, everyone he loves is dead. No, not Pompeii, Vesuvius.
Yes,
Pompeii was
volcano
Pompeii was the city, but
Pompeii.
the range of Italy was like Campania.
Okay, so you're talking about the area.
The zone, yeah. But yes, it was Pompeii.
Okay.
Essentially he goes there, he's like, oh no, everyone's dead, I've got nothing to live for. And he comes back to Rome and it's burning, and he's like, oh no, I've got nothing left in life anymore. But they finished building the amphitheater, which we now know as the Colosseum, and now he gets to be like the gladiator that he was always meant to be, and he fights, and it's a big old gladiator thing, and that'd be pretty darn cool. And I mainly just want to have an excuse to finally use Roman numerals in a show about Rome, which is why I picked it. This will make no money, and that's why no one will.
It will make
the
no
show.
money at all.
You just wanted to use Roman numerals, and that's it.
Yeah,
Roman numerals
Also,
are
like-
pretty sweet.
Wow.
they are pretty cool.
They're not
and
very.
like you could
they're not
kind
very,
of fit them in like with the spelling of Colosseum. You could kind of like throw them in like, oh, it's just called like Cestus 2. But then like halfway point when you realize, oh, they were making the Colosseum, like the title changes and everyone's like, oh, Pog, it's like JoJo, and everyone goes nuts, and that's it. It's not a good show. No.
I'm glad you're excited for it.
Is your show gonna have in betweens where they teach kids about Roman numerals?
No, it's gonna have in betweens about kids beating the crap of one another.
Okay. Well, I didn't actually
Sounds like a great one.
I didn't hate what I saw Cestus. Or Cestus. I don't know how the fuck to say that. But then again, I only watched about 6 episodes of it, so maybe it just did nothing.
It did nothing.
I don't know, Mason. I still don't think anybody would watch it. Is it
No,
still
I'm not trying to convince
he
you. I just
mentioned
want
that
to talk
himself,
about why
yeah.
I think the show would be like way better because it has potential.
What do you think, Caroline?
I also did not watch the original of this. But if Mason's excited for it,
I'm not.
encourage it.
It's just an
Okay.
easiest one to
Mason's
rewrite.
not. I'm gonna play another drop just for the fucks.
If you were in one of my business
You better
school
stop being mean to
classes,
her.
I would spray you down with water, and every time you say I don't know, I'd hit you with an electric cattle prod.
There you go. I need to get more of these. I have like 15 of these, but I feel like they've all been used a lot.
Called Campania. That's where the Pompeii is.
All right, Caroline,
I'm
you're the
glad that we've established that.
You are the grand
I also
finale.
had a hard time. I had a hard time trying to figure out a show to write about a season 2 for when any show I disliked, I kind of just write out of my mind and just don't even think about for a very long time. So I chose Babylon, and it's going to be Babylon Season 2, Revelation. You like the Book of Revelations, and, you like the Babylon, the references to the Bible, and,
I see what
I was
you
proud of
did.
that one. Yeah, I see what I did there. 12 episodes. This takes place 3 years following the events of Babylon. The world finally decided that it's useless to debate endlessly on the legality and morality of suicide, and to focus more on the superpowered psychotic biatch that started it all. But how do you investigate and defeat Ai Magase, who could convince you to kill yourself with a mere whisper? Form of team made almost entirely of deaf detectives.
Oh my god.
Leading the squad is Sekiro Hanami, the little sister of Sekiro Hayasa, who was brutally murdered by Magase in Season 1. Hayami has spent her career trying to work her way up the ladder despite her disability, and since the murder of her sister, she has been even more determined, ruthless even, to bring justice to Ai Magase and to kill her if she gets the chance. And that's all I got.
That
Because
anime
literally
was
I could
so
not think of
bad.
anything else for this.
It's funny that you put
God.
Babylon. I almost picked Babylon as well. And I thought, how would I rewrite it? I would just make it less edgy and bad. And realized I didn't have any other ideas of how to fix it. So
It was so not
Yeah,
good.
I had a hard time with this one. I did not really think of any details except for making a little bit more of an interesting protagonist, because I did not care for the protagonist of Babylon.
No.
And the thing is that it was also difficult to write because I honestly do not know how the ending of the anime, like what happened in the ending, because I don't know. We don't know if the main protagonist got killed. We don't know what happened to that mayor of the town that Magase was kind of working with. I literally do not know what happened to him. Did he die? Did he survive? What's he doing? Don't know. Magase, I think she went up to the son of the protagonist, and that's it. She kind of just left you with that, wondering why she did that. No idea. That's why I didn't include it. And yeah, that's all I can come up with for this one.
Good lord. I couldn't watch it just because I can't step into the world of Babylon ever again. It's too terrible.
yeah, I don't think there's any saving this one.
I honestly did not have any other ideas, so that's valid.
All right.
Well, that was our made-to-order
That's
anime.
interesting.
I guess that would be a better name to call it.
That was an interesting subject or topic or whatever. So thank you for everybody that submitted on Discord. So again, as I've said like 4 billion times on this podcast, we use our Discord quite a lot for ideas, and our website as well. So if you want to submit ideas, just join the Discord. Come over to the website. You can write your mailbags and whatnot. We're running a little long, so why don't we head to the news break, and I think something will arrive at the door while the news break is playing.
Is it almost here?
It is.
We'll find out.
How long?
He's on Fitzgerald.
Trivia question. Saga Prefecture was absorbed into what other prefecture following the 1874 Saga Rebellion? That's it. That's the question. Think about it, and we'll let you know in just a few minutes. See ya on the other side.
Hey, Anime Addicts, it is Mitsugi, and I'm bringing you some anime news. Lots of new anime adaptation announcements. Publishing company Micro Magazine announced that there's going to be a TV adaptation of The Yakuza's Guide to Babysitting, which is a manga. Who's Your Nanny? Kirishima Toru is the right-hand man of the Sakuragi crime family. For him, the job is a perfect excuse to let his violent instincts run wild, earning him the nickname The Demon of Sakuragi. It seems like nothing will stand in the way of his vicious nature, but then one day he receives an assignment like never before from the boss, babysitting his daughter. So, Heartwarming tale, supposedly. We'll have to see. Sounds a little bit funny, so we'll have to see how the Yakuza's Guide to Babysitting pans out when that does release. Next up, another anime adaptation announcement, this time from a fantasy novel, Kijin Gentosho, which is a work done by Moto Nakanishi. In the synopsis, in the Edo period, there was a shrine maiden called Itsuki Hime in the mountain village of Kodono. Jinta, a young man who acts as the shrine maiden's guardian despite being a stranger, encounters a mysterious demon who speaks of the far future in the forest where he went to defeat it. From Edo to the Heisei era, this huge Japanese fantasy series follows a demon man who travels through time while continuously questioning the meaning of wielding a sword. Sounds pretty interesting. This Nakanishi has been writing this fantasy novel from 2013 to 2016, and there was a continuation that also ran sometime later. If you're a fan of this fantasy novel, the promo art looks gorgeous, so look out for Kijin Gentosho coming out sometime fairly soon. And next up, another company was charged for trying to sell products that look like Demon Slayer. The Nagoya District Public Prosecutor's Office issued a charge against Red Spice, a wholesale vendor that's based in Yokohama, for selling merchandise that looks like Demon Slayer, including a hoodie that has the exact checkered colors of the main characters from the show. The charge was for, quote, creating confusion. Under the Unfair Competition Prevention Act, it is forbidden to use false and misleading designation of an origin that will create confusion with another person's goods or businesses. So it looks like they weren't fined a whole lot. It looks like not all that extreme. The suspect Wu, who was charged for stocking goods and sales, sold 244 bath towels with patterns resembling Demon Slayer for about $1,120, etc. So people just keep getting busted for doing Demon Slayer stuff, so just don't do it. Next up, cryptocurrency in the news today. Otaku Coin Cryptocurrency wants to create an isekai anime with non-fungible tokens. The project's inspired by the, quote, Loot social network, where participants obtain a unique list of randomly generated item names through purchasing NTFs on the Ethereum blockchain. The Anime Loot project is an experimental project that encourages similar community participation. Those who sign up can receive a free token called the, quote, Default Settings Replica NTF, which will generate their character's basic characteristics of sex, species, heritage, and personality. The direction of the anime will, quote, take a direction gradually as the project moves on. It looks like they're going to be taking votes from people who participate to help control the direction of the project. We'll have to see if this actually takes off. Seems fairly interesting. But for now, it is in process. This was Mitsuki, and this was your anime news break. And now time to get back to the podcast right now. Anime Addicts, the AAA podcast, is always trying to bring you new and exciting ways to enjoy our content, and now we have an exclusive, member-only RSS feed on the site that is going to let you access our hentai episodes, our Hobby Addicts, and our After Parties episodes, all from your favorite mobile apps. That's an additional 8 episodes of content per month just for you. And you can listen to it through Apple Podcasts app. You can listen to it through Podcast Addicts, Pocket Cast, Overcast FM, Downcast FM, etc., onward and onward. So many mobile apps for you to choose from. If you were holding back on supporting the podcast because you didn't like listening to our extra content through our website, now you can get it and listen to it the same way you enjoy all your other podcasts. So pitch in, help out the podcast, do a good thing, and enjoy all the extra content we have for you. Just go to aaapodcast.com/join, and you will get all this extra content and an exclusive member RSS feed for you to enjoy. That's aaapodcast.com/join, and support the podcast.
Now presenting Burning Questions with the Anime Addicts Anonymous podcast.
Would you rather
Yeah, I like these.
no.
I like these.
have taste buds in your butthole?
What the fuck?
Or poop out of your mouth but not taste it?
Taste buds in my butthole.
So you would rather taste your poop as you're shitting it.
Oh, well, you didn't explain what was
That's
gonna...
why the taste buds are in your butthole, is so you would.
okay.
God.
Taste buds in my butthole.
Oh, God.
What was the other one?
Or poop out of your mouth but not have to taste it.
I'd have to go with that one.
No.
I mean, that's disgusting.
Taste buds in my butthole.
No, you want to taste your own poop?
Now let me ask you a question.
Yes.
You have taste buds in your mouth.
Yes.
If you hold your nose and eat food, you can't taste it. If I hold my nose, do I still fully taste it out of my butt? It's a valid question. It's a very important detail in the answer.
No, you have to squeeze your penis.
Oh, God.
Because that is the nose of your butt.
And now, back to the podcast.
As the drama swells.
It's topical because guess what's here?
Would you rather poop out of your butt and taste it, or poop out of your mouth but not taste it? What do you guys think?
I think this is a great
definitely
question
don't-
right before Caroline delves into her freshly arrived Dairy Queen Blizzard.
That's right.
And
Okay.
if you're watching on Twitch, you'll be able to see me tip it upside down. Whoa! I mean, okay, it did not work.
It started to melt.
Okay, so there is a cup on top of it, so don't worry. I did
Oh
not
my
get my
God.
blizzard everywhere.
Oh my
But
goodness.
I did tip it upside down during the news break, and it did hold.
I saw
And
that.
it probably did hold when they made it at Dairy Queen.
Right.
So I need to get this open.
All right, I'll read the mailbag while you
It's
do that.
time for an almighty
Whoa.
anime mailbag. Anime.
Mailbag.
No trivia question answer?
Oh,
Yeah, we
you're
need
right.
that.
Forgot the trivia question.
Not that
Saga-
anybody cares. I'm so bad at making trivia questions. I'm sorry.
Saga Prefecture was absorbed into what other prefecture following the 1978 Saga Rebellion? And the answer is Mizuma, but Nagasaki is also an acceptable answer. Okay. I didn't. Well, we'll get to it in a minute. All right. So for the mailbag, thank you for submitting the mailbag. This one's by Sajinther. If you want to leave a mailbag, you go to aaapodcast.com. And I wonder if you can just go to aaapodcast.com/mailbag. I'm not really sure if that link works. Let's see. /mailbag. I'm doing it right now. Live testing. And the answer is yes, it does work. So if you go to AAApodcast.com/mailbag, you can leave a mailbag. We've been doing mailbags for 10 plus years. We've read probably thousands of them at this point. So they've been a part of our show all along. And so thank you for continuing to contribute. Hey, AAA hosts. This idea is straight out of left field. With Netflix adapting so many anime into live-action shows, I was wondering what live-action Netflix shows would work being adapted into anime. Yes, basically, I want to see a Tiger King anime. Me too. With Tiger Cat boys and girls, and yaoi subplot and a mecha Carol Baskins. Carol Baskins, she was terrible. Very good question. And I have seen quite a lot of Netflix live action shows at this point, so I have some good ideas. In fact, we all do. I watched a Korean horror like zombie monster show called Sweet Home that came out like last year. It was pretty good. I'd like to see that as like a horror anime. That would probably work pretty well. It definitely had some anime-esque like flair to it, honestly, even as a live action. And just because I love it so much, Cobra Kai. Cobra Kai has been a really good show, and I'd like to see Cobra Kai in live action. I think Sweet Home would be better, but Cobra Kai is definitely like a show that I can watch 10 hours of in like one day. So, which is what happened last time.
Is Sweet Home like a complete original, or was it like a donghua?
I'm not really
that's
sure. I'll
Chinese,
look into that
isn't
for you. I'll look into that.
Like I know I've heard of it.
More important mailbag, Caroline, who has been going at this Blizzard. Give us your play-by-play. Give us the rundown.
It is good. I'll give it that.
We take that.
But
That's a W.
I did not say that was going to be bad. And also, actually,
No one said you thought it would be bad.
yeah, but like you had to prove it. But the thing is that in the chat, Sozuo? He said he also has never had a blizzard, so I think you need to send him one as well.
Maybe next time. Sweet Home was a webtoon, so
Yeah.
and a very
That
nice
must have
looking
been where
one
I've heard
too,
of
by
that.
the way. But from the looks of it, so
I've been kind of thinking. I think that's something I should watch or read. I'm not sure which one.
It was pretty good. So definitely want to have more Sweet Home from Netflix. So, how about you guys?
I couldn't really think of. I tried looking through the Netflix library, and the only thing I can think of maybe working would be Stranger Things. And then it could be set in 1980s Japan instead of America.
I would watch that. And by the way, they asked in the chat, it's Oreo flavored, by the way.
It is Oreo, yes.
And hopefully
I will say also, if your favorite part of this episode was the Dairy Queen saga, like this is essentially just what our after parties is. So if you're like, oh, I mean, what's this paid content? Like, what do they actually do? It's literally just stuff like this. So
well, we talk about food. We don't just send Caroline random food through DoorDash. That's not a typical, but I mean, we could make it typical.
We could make this like an extra People are always wondering what are extra Patreon tiers.
Send me
we
food.
Could be like, we could do the Caroline Eats Food on podcast tier. We could do the Mason ASMR channel. We could do the Mitsugi Live, like I don't know what he even does, shaving experience where he takes you in and you really get the intimate follicles.
There's probably a YouTube page where like 2 million people watch some guy shave every morning. It's probably, there's weird shit like that.
I'm saying we got to get those Patreon tiers, my guy.
All right. Well, did you guys answer this question?
Caroline did.
Caroline did.
Yeah. Maybe Shadow and Bone. That was a Netflix original. That was kind of an action fantasy magical thing that could probably work well. Maybe Umbrella Academy, although I haven't seen that one. That seemed kind of a super power natural kind of thing. And obviously Lupin, the French one, will just turn into another Lupin the Third installment, which I'm all for. So there you go. That's my stuff.
All right. Well, thank you for the mailbag. Now the moment you've all been waiting for. We're going to get to our review of Zombieland Saga Revenge. So, Mason, you want to take this one?
Yeah, I wasn't sure if you were going to take lead. Yeah, this was a spring 2021 show. You can watch it on Crunchyroll or Funimation. Obviously, the sequel to Zombieland Saga, which came out a couple years back. And this was passed by you, the listeners. I really enjoyed what I had saw of the show. And although I failed it, I was like, man, this is really darn good. And I just couldn't justify passing a sequel compared to some of the other good shows on the slate. So I'm really glad that you guys brought it back because I was really digging the first 3 episodes. If you have never seen the show is exactly what it says. It's a show about idols who are zombies who are going around doing performances to try to save Saga Prefecture. Hence the trivia question about Saga. This is done by Studio Mappa, who's been absolutely killing it as of late.
Oh, yeah.
And done by director Munehisa Sakai, who did Sailor Moon Crystal and Mr. Love Queen's Choice, which I've seen both of and are not quite like this show. This is a original, and it is certainly, a good little take on the idol genre. So, let's start with Mitsugi. Initial expectations for Zombieland Season 2.
Well, I mean, I'd seen about 4 or 5 episodes of the first Zombieland, so Zombieland Saga. And so, I mean, I think I thought the show was just going to be kind of goofy, like a goofy comedy with a lot of like energy, because that's what the first season was. So I feel like unlike most times, I had a pretty good place to come from when viewing this one. I think I more or less knew what I was getting into.
Oh, nice. And Caroline, who I believe watched season 1 not too long ago.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely on my watch list for a long time, but since I knew that we were going to have to discuss season 2, I made sure that it got put to the top of my watch list the first season. And I really enjoyed the first season, and I was expecting, of course, more of what I saw in the first season. Though I definitely, like Mitsugi, I was definitely expecting it to be goofy, not really all that serious. And yeah, so I was looking forward to watching the second season, especially since it had not been that long since I finished the first.
Yeah, I can't say anything much too different. I watched season 1, thoroughly enjoyed it. Curious to see what season 2 had to offer. What if Mappa could do it bigger and better than season 1? So, spoiler-free recommendations. Mitsugi, what do you got?
Yeah, I mean, I thought the show was actually quite good. I enjoyed it a lot. I thought certain episodes were just like flat out like just excellent. Some episodes were a little less excellent, but overall, I thought it was a lot of fun. I watched it like in bed pretty much the whole time. Pancake saw about half of it, and even she didn't complain too much about this show. So I think the audience for this is fairly wide, considering its like exuberance, and you can probably suggest this one to maybe not to everybody, but there's a pretty solid audience for Zombieland Saga Revenge, and probably for the original as well. Comedy, people who like comedies, people who like something that's a little bit out of the box. People that are in the anime fandom that like idols, and people that like just I feel like it's just well made as well. So Mappa, I'm sure that they probably turned their employees into zombies in order to make this. And
You're not wrong.
So yeah, I would recommend this to probably maybe 75% of people, depending on what they're looking for.
Awesome. We take that. Caroline.
Yeah, so I mean, this season was definitely as good as the first, and even with that, it had a lot more focus on the actual idol part of the synopsis. The first season was kind of just like trying to get these reluctant characters on board with the plan, and then now with season 2, it's basically let's be idols kind of thing, even with the setback they have in the very first couple seconds of the season. And even with that, this show got a little bit more serious towards the end with, actual real life situations, and even gave you a little bit of a tearjerker here and there. And actually, I think this, like, Zombieland Saga is definitely the idol anime for people who don't watch idol shows. I've never watched an idol show before, and I definitely have heard that similar idea passed around. This is the idol show for pretty much everyone. And yeah, it was really good, and I'm looking forward to discussing more about it, and also eventually getting season 3, because the last couple seconds were a bit of a cliffhanger, to say the least.
Bizarre.
Certainly. Before I forget, chat, please post your favorite group members. I'm seeing some Tai, I'm seeing some Saki, but I want to see what all you guys think is best. Yeah, definitely would recommend Zombieland Saga Revenge. It, as Mitsuki mentioned, it has something for almost everyone. It has great animation, it has cool action scenes at times, it has idols, it's got comedy. It's just got such a plethora of things to grab you, and just a solid production value across the board that it doesn't drop the ball. That, yeah, it's one of the easiest recommendations I could give. I do think the second half of it drastically was worse than the first. Everything after the flashbacks, I thought, kind of lost the plot and kind of became a little contrived, campy, a little too idol-ish, if you want to call it that. But overall, I still enjoyed my time with it, and it probably had the best opening of the year so far. It was so unskippable that alone made me excited to watch week to week. So yeah, I think I would have to just echo that this was a good season, and despite your reservations of it being an idol show, like Caroline said, it's just so good and so fun. Yeah.
The gateway idol.
Oh no, it's a slippery slope. Actually, don't watch Zombieland Saga. It's bad news. No, it's a good time, and we will jump into spoilers and get into it.
Spoilers are coming. Oh my god!
So, I feel like kind of just want to start with like how we felt about this season compared to season 1, because I feel like for the most part it's the same thing. There's really the plot. The first 6 episodes are kind of just the group hanging out, getting into hijinks, and then doing a song at the end of the episode. But I think what made season 2 interesting is that it wasn't so focused on the group itself. It felt like they were trying to expand what music meant to the greater population, where you had, these talent shows where you have all these different child actors and people getting involved, or you had this like dance battle where you had this group of all different ages and ethnicities like coming together in like pursuit of music. And I felt like this entire season was trying to expand the scope of, it's not just about an idol show, it's about Saga itself more than the zombies that the show is based around.
Yeah, well, and I think that like when you're doing a show that's about energizing, revitalizing, bringing notoriety to whatever, however you want to phrase it, the prefecture itself of Saga, you know, it does help to give you a little bit of, to inject a little more life into the people and the actual place of Saga Prefecture. You know, it's otherwise you're just trying to like do some service for some like nameless, like faceless thing, and it's not very effective. And I think that they did this pretty much. Personally, I think the best episode in the season was the radio episode with the guy with the pompadour.
Yes, that was a very good one.
I actually did not really like that episode all that much.
It was the Saki episode, right?
Yeah. I just thought the guy was weird. Like, what's with the hair, man?
Oh, he's just so silly.
So cool. He was so stylish. He was living in the past, just like Saga, just like the dreams of a lot of people, but he was still inspirational.
The episode really like was about the people of the prefecture, and you know, helping them get through their lives by having a voice to listen to or whatever. And I thought that episode, the end of the series as well did this, but like, you know, that episode was really enjoyable and definitely sort of invigorated the vision of the prefecture and the people that live there. And it was a really good episode for Saki as well. You know, it kind of gave her more character, like more richness to her character. And I can't even remember the guy's name, but what a fucking crazy pompadour! Like, and
so
like,
cool.
And it was like it was
so droopy.
It was a flaccid pompadour too, which I think is supposed to indicate like that his like, you know, career is at an end or whatever, and he's like an old guy.
He used to be strong and proud back in the day, and now
analyze
it's very
the symbolism of his
representation.
floppy pompadour.
Yeah, get that guy that little blue pill, sildenafil. Perk that baby right up.
No, I'd say the first like 4 episodes were fantastic. Even when they started off with like a bit of a trope of like, oh no, like they think that she's gonna leave the group, Ai's gonna leave the group, and we're gonna be all alone. Like everyone's seen that scene in an idol show, but it did have a strong payoff with the auto-tuned performance at the end. And I will say the music in the show, it was always a little diverse in season 1, but they went to like all corners of the music like landscape. You had metal stuff, and you had like scat going on. You had such a range of styles that it was a treat. And I think all the songs by far were not only better than season 1, but also better animated with the CG.
The CG,
I agree.
The CG looked really good in this.
Yes,
it was extremely good looking,
especially compared to the first dance they did in the first season. It's by miles so much better.
But season 2 didn't have as much chicken action. They had a chicken stand-in, but it wasn't the same.
There was,
so I'm gonna have to knock points.
There have definitely been some shows lately that have had pretty poor CG. I think of Cestus, the Godzilla show didn't look all that good. This looked good. And there was a lot of showcase of the CG at the very end of the show with the final performance.
Mm-hmm.
There was several minutes of CG there, and it didn't seem out of place at all to me. I thought the final concert looked unbelievable with all the glow sticks and all the just all the choreography and the singing and all the CG. It just worked really well. And I feel like if I watched idols dance for like 6 or 7 minutes or whatever, normally I'd be really bored, but I never felt bored watching that performance. I just think that it was so much vibrancy to it that it was just a joy to watch, and they really captured like the energy of what like a concert in Japan looks like. So,
and that's kind of how I feel like I could explain the whole show. Like, it is charming, it's emotional, it's just fun to watch, it's eye-popping. Literally, the girls' eyes pop out of their skulls.
Oh yeah,
and it's great. I will say, I felt like the show wasn't funny. Like when the show was trying to be silly, it was like trying too hard. But when it was like doing more like clever stuff in the background, I thought those moments were really what endeared me to everything that was going on with the humor department. And I think a big part of that is I felt like they leaned a lot less on Tatsumi, the producer guy, being because he was always over the top, and he still is over the top. But I felt like they weren't just like, this is the entire scope of his comedy. As much as I love Mamoru Miyano just going nuts, they definitely let him take a bit of a backseat. Yeah, and I appreciate that.
Though, back to what you said about that whole, will she join the other idol group or will she not join the idol group? Like, that stupid plot point.
Yeah.
It's automatically not gonna work. She's a freaking zombie. One wrong move and her head pops off. Of course she's not going to join another idol group. Of course not. So that was automatically dumb. Even if it wasn't overdone several times.
I don't think that thought ever even occurred to me. But I do have this problem. I do have this habit of falling asleep while I watch anime, and then like it'll play through like half the show, and then I have to try to remember which episode I was on. So I actually don't even remember that happening. But
thankfully, it wasn't for too long.
It was one of the early arcs before they got into the whole flashback of what is Saga and why should we care.
Speaking of flashbacks, I didn't really buy into all the flashbacks that they had in this season. I didn't get really the point of the like feudal Japan flashbacks. I thought they were trying to set up like how Saga like was founded or its history, but it just didn't work for me at all. And that was like that was multiple episodes. It didn't work.
Yeah, it was a 2-episode arc. Go ahead, sorry.
I think more of the importance of those. Well, I also agree that 2 episodes was a little bit long for it, but I do think they are important because it kind of gives a little bit more background to the whole idea of why they're trying to save Saga, because this is like some sort of prophecies going on. The bartender in modern times is that old grandpa in the past, and Yugiri knows him all this time, so she knows what's going on. And also, Mamoru Miyano also voiced the guy who's trying to save Saga in the past, so it's kind of, yeah, so so a lot of comparisons there. So I do think it's going to be important later on, but yeah, it was a little bit long.
Yeah, I thought that flashback, as you kind of mentioned, was not a great vibe. As much as I liked the Yugiri episode and see more of her backstory, it didn't answer enough questions to justify its length. Yeah. But also, one thing I really enjoyed is that the season starts kind of with like you almost missed an extra OVA. Like it starts with them failing this performance that we never saw, and it trusts that you're going to catch up on the clues to realize what happened, and they tell you. And I'm like, okay, I'm glad they skipped that to get to the interesting part. But then later, they spend like half an episode recapping what we already figured out. And it felt like such a waste of time to see them building up to this failed performance with like really not any more context clues. We just saw the same failure and we're like, well, why did we need to see that again? Like, why repeat that? And I thought that was kind of rough. And the whole Saga is sinking now and all of that and their performance like that, I just felt dragged on for way too long. And I get the whole point, the whole punchline is that Zombieland Saga is not a saga with zombies in it. It's the saga is the land that is the zombie that is trying to be revived. Like, I get that. But, like, that whole... I just thought the whole second half of the show, like, lost scope of what made the show interesting and kind of was just hanging by a thread. Despite having some emotional beats, I just really fell out of favor with it.
I mean, I thought it was interesting that they put a little bit more of like a serious lens on it, like like the towns have hit disaster and everybody's without their homes, and then you kind of and then the girls are like helping out, and that's kind of what's bringing them back into their popularity, is the fact that they are, working for Saga, and they're like that. Yeah, I mean, it was a little bit corny, sure, but they are helping them still. Like they're handing out food, and they are interacting with the public that are going to be the backbone of their fan base.
And then a week later, everyone's like, okay, big concert time. Okay, we're all good.
Yeah.
It felt so poorly done. Like, it felt like they really, and they said like, oh, you're not really reviving it. You're just putting on a show to add hope. But I didn't feel like with the people of Saga, I felt like I wasn't dragged through the horrors. I just felt like, oh, they're just putting on a show now, and they were popular because no one has anything better to do. Like it felt what it was building to was not earned or deserved, and like I didn't get why Tatsumi all of a sudden started trusting this reporter, and it felt kind of just like they had a lot of balls up in the air that they were juggling, and they just didn't do anything interesting with them.
I will say that I was like, even with the whole backstory of why they did the EFS show, that was it, like EFS?
Yes, that sounds right.
Yeah. So they put in the effort to like spell out what happened, but I still don't understand their motivation for going through with it in the first place, because they all said one after the other, this is going to bomb. Yeah, this is going to be really bad. Let's do it anyway. I did not get it. Like,
yeah,
just because they had so much trust in Tatsumi that that was the only reason why they did this and completely bombed. They knew they were going to do this. So why did they do it in the first place? And why did you spend so much time establishing this?
And all we learned from the flashback is that Tatsumi's like, I'm not selling any tickets in advance. Or I'm doing it all the day up to make it epic. And then, of course, it fails. And they're like, oh, my goodness, he was doing so much for us and never stopped believing. He really is the glue that held us together. And it's like, yeah, he's important.
He freaking fell apart.
Yeah.
The moment that he did a very stupid decision that is kind of out of character.
But yeah, it was, I don't know. We had the one episode where the girl from the crowd joined them for a little bit. I guess that was cute. That was fine. I didn't mind it.
I like the episode with the like talent show episode was good.
Yeah, with the smarmy little child actor. That was nice. I like that.
And Lily's a good character. She's probably one of my favorite out of the group.
Oh, Lily's fantastic.
Yeah.
And somehow they put in Death Note references into that episode.
Oh, I totally missed that.
I definitely got like
the guy's name is Light for one, so that was automatically a bad vibe.
Yep.
And then he did like All According to Plan. He did that meme. All According to Keikaku. He says that.
But I love like the representation when like he's crying in the boys' bathroom afterwards, and Lily comes in. He's like, "What are you doing? This is the boys' bathroom." And Lily's just like, "Nah, I'm Lily." Like, and you're like, "Yeah." Very much struck me like Kino's journey, where Kino's is just Kino. That's their gender, and it's great. So I love that representation. And once again, similar to I leaving the band. Oh, we have the talent show with the nice young child actor, but we really know that he's kind of like devious and a scumbag, but it still played off well. It still hit its mark. So it was great. It was nice.
I think he learned his lesson.
I thought it was strange.
Yeah.
I thought it was strange with like all of these original songs they've put into the show, and the song they do at the talent show is basically Amazing Grace. I'm like, you could have picked any song. You're a literal idol. You could have picked any of your songs and you chose Amazing Grace.
Well, I get for a talent show like that, you want a song that people know. I can understand that.
Nah, I didn't really think one way or the other about it, but.
So this is a hot take.
Ooh, okay.
My hot take is that I did not think their singing was all that great when they're by themselves, especially. Like when they were performing for the kids in that shelter and they had no music in the background, it was just them singing. I do not think they're very good singers. Junko's the only exception. Junko is amazing. I loved her voice, but everybody else kind of sucked.
I mean, that's just kind of proving that without the spectacle and arrangement of it, idols are really not that interesting. They literally were just entertaining kids. Like no one else cared because they didn't have the fanfare and light show and extravagance and set design. Like maybe that's just because I'm not a huge fan of idol culture and stuff like that. But literally, the only people who cared was like the 5-year-olds. Like that was it. So yeah, it makes sense when you. I mean, you see that even though like professional sports, with all the like stadiums on like lockdown, when there weren't fans in the crowds, the games just weren't the same. They weren't as interesting. But when you have like, performances are kind of based around the audience as much as the people on stage. And I see it both ways.
Let's talk about that OP for a minute.
Oh my goodness, it was so good.
Yeah, the song and the animation of it were
flawless.
Yeah, I just kept remarking about how fucking phenomenal it was. I mean, it was very energizing to set you up for the show, which in and of itself is a pretty energetic show. But Mappa, man, they just slayed that.
It was fluid.
And I normally don't give a rat's ass about openings. I skip them. I skip the endings too. I just it saves time.
Mm-hmm.
But you can literally trim an anime's length by an hour if you just skip that shit. But I found myself not really skipping the OP for this because it was so good that I was like, I'm just gonna watch this again because it was just too much to not watch it.
It was such a visual spectacle, and I think my favorite part, I mean, obviously the song was good, but the flex of Mappa with their massive font rotating in, and if you watch, it actually over-rotates so that when it comes back, like, goes in through, like, the door, like, it just has a weight to it that it's just hard to describe with sounds, like, how good it was to watch visually. I loved it.
Yeah, the OP was a 5 out of 5 for sure.
Yeah, easily.
You know, what song I really also enjoyed other than the OP was the song that Yugiri did. The what was it, like the Saga Incident? That song that was so fun.
One at F2, and like the red and black design as they were like dancing around them. Yeah, that was fantastic. All the performances, despite the songs or the plot that led up to them, I thought hit. And I was always engaged. It was good. It sounded better. It looked better than season 1 across the board.
I thought it was.
No doubt.
I didn't see all of season 1, but I thought based on what I've seen of season 1, I thought this was better. Personally, not all the episodes hit, but the ones that did hit were exceptional. Like I said before, so. And the ending was pretty strong. I thought the ending was, but bizarre. The very last few seconds, which you have to really stick around for the very, very last few seconds, literally, where I was like, this is like massive spoiler. I was like, did an alien spaceship just come in and just blow everything up? It
came in and unleashed a light with explosion sound effects.
Oh, they blew that shit up, but
I have to double check the tapes.
But
it's been a while.
But do you guys think that's a season 3 indicator, or do you think that's just the show being goofy and not giving a fuck?
No, I think that's a season 3 indicator. I don't think that it actually happens that the prefecture is going to be blown up, but maybe that's an indication of it might be blown up. That's what I took from it. But,
I mean, considering that Mai was in like season 1 in a bunch of episodes and then came into play in season 2, and just based on the care and love and attention that I've seen the show, I feel like they have some sort of plan and end game. And yeah, I think we're going to get season 3, and I think this will play into that.
You know, I find that it's very rare that we get an original anime that doesn't fall apart within the last 2 episodes.
Oh, well, I have news for you for an upcoming review that I'm not going to say anything about.
Oh, boy.
So I'm going to keep my mouth shut. But,
I think it's pretty... I think it's pretty rare to have it's pretty rare to have a show that's original get more than 1 season, period. Let alone a potential 3rd season. So...
I mean, you have... What did you do? Megalobox not too long ago, so...
I mean, there are
exceptions. It took a while for that to get 2nd season, though.
Was it really? Let's see.
It's like a couple years.
It's like 3 years.
I mean, 2018.
I was still in Florida when that thing came out.
And when did
so it's at least 2 years.
Come out? Yeah, it was 2018.
Yeah.
As was Zombieland Saga. They both came out 2018.
So I think I'm ready to score Zombieland Saga. I have nothing else really to add.
Yeah.
I thought it was an excellent show. I thought that it looked good. I thought it sounded good. It's very colorful. The characters are likable. You know, it hit all the right notes. There were some episodes that were... Oh, you like that? There were some episodes that I thought weren't really very good. Like the flashback episodes were... I didn't understand why they were there. I didn't really give a fuck. So I'm going to give it a Oh, and I gotta say, just a shout out to, I guess her name's Tai. She's she's fucking hilarious. I'm never gonna get enough
Everybody
of her. Like,
loves Tai.
just sitting there in the hot tub with like her mouth hanging open. She just cracks me up.
I love the guts that this show had to have a like 2.5, 3 minute segment of just her screaming into the crowd.
Oh yeah.
No, but that was the Freddie Mercury reference right there.
Yeah, no other show, or like Wembley or something. Yeah, no other show could have gotten away with like that and still have it like not be like, okay, we get it, like move on.
Yeah. I'd give the show I don't know, four faces with cracked makeup out of 5. I thought it was really good. I have no freaking clue how they're going to do another season of this. I don't think it's needed, but we'll have to find out.
Awesome. Caroline, how's that? What's the score on that Oreo Blizzard?
Oh yeah, let's hear that first.
Oh, it's good. I mean, I kind of wish that I could have just left this for later so I can eat dinner first, but I'd give this 3 out of 5. It's not like amazing, but it's good. Okay, back to the show. So this one was definitely better than the first season, and that's not because the first season was bad. There was a lot of great songs in this season, and even if you're not a very big song person, like musical person, I still feel like there is comedy to enjoy. The characters are great, and it's an interesting premise. There's not a lot like Zombieland Saga out there. So with that, I believe that this show deserves 4 amazing Junkos because she has the best voice out of all of them out of 5.
Nice. I really liked Zombieland Saga Revenge. I think at the end of episode 5, I'm like, oh damn, this is definitely gonna get like a 4.5 out of 5. Like I was really vibing with it. It was banger after banger. The OP was clicking. All the characters were clicking. And it was just doing everything season 1 did, but on another level. And the visuals, the sound, it was all hitting. But I think with all the flashbacks and the epic climax, as good as it was from a production standpoint, it really did not hold up from a writing standpoint and kind of lost the magic for me. So I'm going to give it the same score as season 1, 3.5. Those little squid treats that Tai always munches on and Tatsumi always has in his pocket out of 5. I think it was good, but there's still more there. There's still something that it needs to do to finish up a strong season. So those are 3 good scores though, which average out to 4 out of 5, which is you don't get 4 out of 5s every day.
No.
So
well, this show had the legendary Tai Yamada.
Yeah, most shows can't say that.
They if you go on my anime list, they give like all the stats for the idols on here, and it's because it's an idol show.
Stats so. Like
height, weight, measurements, all that, age, whatever, birthday, everything. And the main girl, Sakura, she is 5. This is so insane. She's 5'2", 101 pounds, and she's got an F cup bust. What is she like a lollipop?
Yeah, so if you take off her breasts, that means that she's like 80 pounds.
Yeah, it's like what the fuck?
Maybe not 80, but like 90 pounds probably.
She'd like fall and like just shatter her femur. This I don't know, it's just like completely unrealistic. It's impossible. But they give all the stats on here for all that. Completely unneeded side note, but all right. Well, that's a really good review of Zombieland Saga Revenge. We're going to be doing To Your Eternity next week, which I haven't even started, and it's 20 episodes, so God help me.
I think it's a good binge, so I think you'll be okay.
And hopefully it's really is. I'm hoping it's dubbed. That would make things easier, but we'll have to find out. But we're going to be doing that next week. So for those of you that follow us weekly, look forward to Your Eternity coming up next week. And again, thank you for listening to our podcast. This is the end. We are on Twitter. You can follow us on Twitter. The podcast is at AAA Podcast. Mason's at Macy Pacey. You can follow us on Facebook. You can follow us on all the socials. We're on Discord. You got to follow on Discord, okay? Because we got the Manga Club, the Anime Club. watch parties, 2,100 and something people on there just chatting it up. You know,
and
all
sometimes
manner.
we get our Discord members involved directly onto the show. So
That's right.
You want to keep an eye out for when you can be on the show.
We play games, and I think we'll have some pretty interesting games coming up here shortly in the future. If you want to help out the podcast again, we 100% depend on you guys to keep this show running, so it's not an exaggeration whatsoever. Over at aaapodcast.com/join our Patreon. We're going to do a hentai episode right after this. I have no idea what we're going to talk about, but we always pull it out of our asses. Our Hobby Addicts, where we talk mostly about video games, our after parties. So please support the podcast and leave us a review on iTunes and tell your friends as well. Peace out.
We love you. Have a good one.
Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.